Hello, everyone. This is Jacqueline Bambenek with Vibrational Energy Solutions, and I am so excited to be here with you today. This masterclass is brand new, and it's built off of my own experiences of life and challenges that I've had to go through because I just want you to know that you're not alone. And so this masterclass is about building resilience in a chaotic world. So we all have challenges, we all have situations that come up in our life, and no one is immune from riding these different waves of ups and downs in our life. And I like to bring to your awareness that if you look at the rhythm of a heartbeat, you look at the ups and downs, and you realize within our own body and being, we are geared for ups and downs. It's the rhythm. It's the rhythm within us, and it's the rhythm that we are experiencing in the bigger picture. So I like to look at what's happening on the inside is also a mirror for what's happening out in our world. So it doesn't take far to realize if you're looking at different situations, um, let's take, for instance, the greed that exists in the world. If we're able to clear that up in our internal reality, then we can also see how we can clear it outside of ourselves. And if you take a look at the current events in our world, we see a lot of destruction, a lot of war that's happening, and a lot of crimes against humanity, and just bringing to awareness that all of this that's going on, a lot of it ties back to the desire to have power, but the greatest power that we have is in our freedom of choice. And so I'm going to bring that back to you because knowing that our emotions are under our control is one of the greatest things that you will embody. Is that inner knowing that you have the power within you to create the peace that you are seeking, to create the fulfillment, to allow yourself to release yourself from the overwhelm and the frustration that might be going on. And so I am placing that power into your hands today. And I'm going to do that with a wonderful little chart that I created that's called Empowered Emotional Awareness. And that's a little map and a guide that has some secrets that I've discovered in my journey, this miracle journey of life. And I would love for you to consider that your life is also a miracle. So we'll take that back to the time of conception, okay? Because there's so much about separation and isolation, and that creates a lot of loneliness and heartbreak and grief in our world, especially when we are accumulating different life events such as loss and losses that occur in all different ways. There can be loss of relationships, loss of those that have been in our life that have passed away and they're no longer here in this physical form. So a lot of times we cause ourselves to spiral downward. And so today I'm going to give you some tools that allow you to learn how to spiral upward, to bring yourself back to a neutral point. And no matter what's going on in your life, you can help yourself to build resilience and strength. And that is about being that space of grace for yourself, space of love for yourself, and knowing that you've got this. You totally have got this. And it's just getting outside of the stories that your mind is wanting you to believe. So taking you into a journey of understanding. So our mind is super powerful. And by the time we are 7 years old, experts like Bruce Lipton tell us that we've created patterns in our life to create our own survival. So when we are having situations come up where we're not being met, we don't feel that our needs are being met when we're a young child, we create these ideas and stories And then we live by those stories. And those stories compound over over a lifetime if we don't meet those stories and actually bring some some compassion, understanding, and love. Because generationally, these stories are carried forward. So I know in my life, I can look at the harsh reality of what my mom was looking through in her eyes when she passed on an abandonment wound to me. And I can look at it now as an adult from a space of love and compassion and see where that pattern was born, looking at the lineage, looking at what transpired in my grandmother's life and what transpired in her mother's life, and realize this was something that was passed along generation to generation. So as we build our resilience and our sustainability, it's also in the healing that happens by taking that longest journey that you will ever take, and that is the 18 inches from your head to your heart. So by taking a look at these patterns, you can ask yourself, so I'm going to invite you right now, what is the one pattern that has come up over and over again in your life where you feel like you're the victim of a situation, a circumstance, or people? And just breathe into that for a moment. And now placing your hands on your heart, feeling into that rhythm of your own heartbeat, your own life. And just feel into that pattern right now. And breathe. Remember to breathe. So breathing is your inspiration. You're re-spiriting yourself. Your respiration is your inspiration. And there's science behind this. And we can get into that if you want to have a discovery call with me and chat more about this. But this is about regulating your nervous system. So putting your hands on your heart and breathing. So where your attention goes, your energy will flow. So allowing yourself to find that peace within that allows you to know that you're safe. You're creating that safety because you're present right now. Now is new. Right now is new. You are in this moment right now, and you are safe. So from this space, we can look objectively and we can see that that pattern, we can see with compassion. So we're seeing from a perspective. We're choosing a point of view to see with compassion how that pattern might have been created. A survival pattern that generations ago, it meant life or death. People died young. It was a harsh life. It was a harsh world. And if we don't look at these traumas, we replicate the harshness. We replicate the dysregulation within our body, within our nervous system. And so this is an opportunity for you to breathe new life and new patterns into being by becoming empowered by your emotions, becoming empowered by your awareness so that we can move beyond the dysregulation. And now I'm inviting you to co-regulate with me. So breathing, when we're witnessing one another, when two or more are gathered, we create an opportunity to co-regulate. To breathe attention through our body, through our being, through our spirit, and actually access through our hearts. We have access to the soul. So each one of us came into this life with a divine destiny. You have unique talents and gifts. And when you're not in resistance and when you're not fighting to survive, when you're not caught in the overwhelm and the frustration, and wherever that spiral down from that point might take you, because it can go further down. It's a rabbit hole that you can jump into. And if you're caught in the story of victimhood and dysregulation in your nervous system, that's a lot. It's a lot to take on, and it's if you don't have the emotional awareness to create the mental well-being for yourself, it can be difficult when you're stuck in story. I've been there. You're not alone. Don't make yourself wrong or bad. And I spiraled so far downward that I actually got to a point of homelessness. So caught in my story and so much in the resistance of bringing my light and my gifts and my own destiny here. Because it takes courage and it takes bravery to be honest. Honest with yourself and honest with with those that you love and honest with the rest of the world. But being courageous and stepping forward in your divine destiny, it can be done in any moment. Now is new. And that destiny of being in alignment with your gifts and your truth, you can do it within your family. You can do it within your community. You can do it within your career, your corporation or organization you work with or for. And so often, so we talked about that point of conception, and I'm going to bring it back in right now, is that when you were brought into creation, it took the divine feminine holding and nurturing of a womb and those beautiful fertile eggs and bringing in the divine masculine, coming together, the divine feminine and the divine masculine coming together to create a cohesive space of love within yourself so that you can actually build and create a life that is courageous, that is honest, that is true, that is resonating from deep inside yourself. So now I want to ask you, what parts of yourself are you denying? Because we always cut ourselves off from our awareness when we hyper focus and feel like we need to be in a set point of view. But coming from that set point of view that sees the world in one particular way. So if we have tunnel vision, we are not able to see the greater perspective here or here that opens our world up into greater possibilities and asking what else is possible. So we need to take that beautiful gift of the divine feminine. So the womb, the egg that is being fostered, that is being grown into something greater. Allow you to see yourself right now today as being in that space of being born and coming into that connection with your heart and the access to the destiny within inside of you, your gifts, your talents and abilities. And touch in with your heart for a moment. What is inside of you that you are ready to give birth to? What have you denied access to, denied knowing of, denied fostering of? So that divine feminine is that nurturing flow, bringing life and creativity being stimulated with imagination, being in the wonderment of life. And if you feel back to when you were a child, you had that. You had that explorative imagination that was so curious, that was so free, and that you were empowered by. You weren't afraid. And life and our belief patterns that came in, societal conditioning, whether it's from family, whether it's from organizations, structures, religion, schooling even. We're taught that we need to have the right answer. We need to figure it out. And what if you being you was the greatest gift that you could be for your life, for your own happiness, for the freedom? And now we'll bring in that divine masculine because we need both. And that's why, people get stuck in the whole pronouns. And, I want to honor the diversity because I believe that diversity is our strength, but it's not in our division or our separation. It's in our unity. It's in knowing that we are all connected. And so bringing in what I call the me, we consciousness. So I am me. And as an empath, and if you can relate with being a heart-centered empath, I was stuck in a pattern of conforming to my environment to maintain safety. And so as I conformed, I chameleoned. And as I chameleoned, I put on a mask. So I put on a mask for this person. And for this job, I had to wear this mask. And for this job, I had to wear this mask. And for this relationship, I had to wear this mask. And I had to become what was required in that situation in order to be accepted through my mind, the patterns, those patterns that try to keep you safe are operating out of survival mode. It dysregulates your nervous system and you come away from your authentic truth of who you are. So it moves you out of that heart space and into the mind space. And so I want to also let you know the science tells us that we have the neural pathways and the neurons that fire in the brain, but we also have the neural pathways of the heart. We have the neurons that fire in the heart. We have the neurons that fire in the gut. So we basically have three brain systems in our body. So we have the smaller brains of the heart and inside of the gut. They're all intertwined and connected. And through that autonomic nervous system, we have the vagus nerve that stimulates that autonomic nervous system that when we get into a fight or flight or a freeze stage, we are dysregulated. We want to bring ourselves back into regulation. One of the greatest ways to do that is to know someone that's regulated and co-regulate with them to help you find greater peace. And at this point, I would love to invite you to a discovery call. So if I don't bring that up at the end of the session, I do offer free calls to help you to find that co-regulation within your own body. And that is one of my super, super beautiful gifts that my destiny has offered me as my gift and talent and ability is to offer that co-regulation. So as we step forward, bringing the divine feminine and the divine masculine together. So that divine masculine brings structure, brings systems, brings focus, brings drive, brings you into your actionable steps that, along with the divine feminine, allows you to come together into wholeness. So it's not one or the other. It's not seeking it outside of yourself. It's knowing you have everything that you need within you to allow you to be the wholeness of you. And from coming from that wholeness, you can bring all of you into relationship, into career, into your life and living that allows you to feel greater fulfillment. But it all starts right here. And so often we're missing this step because we're so stuck up here. So I wanted to bring this to you today and give you some tools and secrets. So from here, I want to actually bring in a um, I want to bring in a form that I created. So this beautiful little sheet is, nope, that's not it. Let's see. So it's called the Empowered Emotional Awareness Map and Secrets for helping you to grow your resilience and your strength. And let's see. Let's bring it. Ooh. Let's see. Where is it? Okay. Sorry. I am working with my beautiful gift here. Let's see if this works. Oh. Do, 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 do. Let's see if I can pull this down. There we go. Not that. Oh, where'd you go? And I thought I pulled it up so I could easily access it. Well, you know what? We're just gonna do this again. We're gonna open it here. And I hope you can see that. Okay. So, yes, my business is Vibrational Energy Solutions. We are aligned in love and embodied in joy, because why would you want to be embodied in anything other or aligned with anything else? Emotional well-being secrets. Okay, so you can get this PDF. I will send you the link for this so that you can easily access it at any moment that you need to be reminded of these very special secrets and this map that helps you to move forward in your life. Being empowered by your emotions instead of at the effect of them. Okay, so it may be difficult to hear, though helpful to understand. You are either consciously choosing your emotions or you are subconsciously reacting to them. So, how true is that? We are often in a reaction state. So, something happens, it triggers us, and those triggers are only helping us to come home to our heart. They are the reminder that the ego, so the ego is that personality that was created to help you survive as a young child. So we get to give love to this space of our inner child, bringing that love in for all the love, validation, approval, and acceptance that you truly wanted as a child, and where something else showed up. So that's where those patterns were born, that you're not lovable, you don't matter, that you're not good enough. And so today I want to remind you, you are good enough, you are lovable, and you so matter. You're not alone. We've all had some wounded patterns. And so it's a gift when you start taking the journey to start realizing that some of these patterns exist, so you can actually start creating beyond them. They're not running the show. You are consciously choosing to run the show. This is your life. You get to pick up the pen and be the writer, the lead actor and the director of your life. And instead of being a support actor or actress in somebody else's. So we can also acknowledge that situations come up in our life. Situations come up in the world, and they cause heartbreak. They cause loneliness, they cause outrage, they cause helplessness. And it's by accessing that grief and allowing ourselves to surrender to it. It's not about denying it. It's not denying that the world is messed up and chaotic, but that allow that chaos to call you to a deeper knowing inside of yourself. That chaos can be the cause of your resiliency, strength and freedom. Freedom to know yourself even deeper. Allow that chaos to be the way that you are accessing your inner truth and also clearing some of the emotions that it's reminding you of. The chaos in the world, how is it reminding you of chaos that is coming up inside of you? Where is that showing up in your life? Are you having chaos showing up in your career or your family or in your school, in your organizations? So this is an invitation to just ask yourself, how am I allowing my feelings of this grief and helplessness and heartbreak and outrage? Outrage is powerful. It's how change is facilitated. So I'm not denying that we shouldn't step into anger, especially when you're feeling sad about something. But you get to place yourself in the role of saying, but I am not a victim of anything that's happened to me or is happening to me right now. I get to choose my life. I get to choose the trajectory of my life, and I get to be the victor of my life, of this circumstance, of whatever's going on in the world. And it's not by saying anyone is right or wrong. It's about choosing your own happiness and knowing that we are all in this together. And that's so often when we see one side against another, we're totally in separation, we're in isolation, we're not seeing this. We need to come together. And it all starts here. It starts it starts with bringing that divine feminine, the flow, the creativity, the love, the nurturing, together with the focus. This is how solutions happen. This is about being focused and oriented towards solutions, not problems. Problems, those are a dime a dozen. Being focused on solutions, boom. That's where you get to be a contribution to you, to your life, and to the world. And if you're in a career, so focusing in on bringing this type of sustainable leadership, this is how you create success. It's success that comes from inside of you that filters into an organization that uplifts everyone around you. That's the world I want to live in. And when I look out at the world, at the chaos, it reminds me, how do I get to go deeper here? What do I get to bring out into the world to help you to be able to access that power within you that can truly come from this space? Okay. So, let's continue on. Oh, so often I always thought I was responsible for how everybody else felt. Isn't that funny? How often are you operating from feeling responsible for how someone else feels instead of allowing them to be responsible for how they feel? And you taking full 100% ownership of how you feel. This is how we heal ourselves. And this is how we come together to heal one another. Because hurt people hurt people. And if you're in a relationship like that, I am so sorry. And Now you have responsibility for, instead of being hurt by someone else, you get to come from a space of healing within so that you can ripple that out. Ripple that healing from your heart into your relationships, into your connections, into your life, into your community, into your family. So lead by example, and your corporations and your organizations and your colleges and your university. Like, all of this is all interconnected. But so often we're looking at everything as its own separate entity. But you rippling who you're being into the world, what are you rippling out right now? Take an inventory. Are you stressed? Are you overwhelmed? Are you frustrated? Are you angry? What are you rippling out into your environment? So Bruce Lipton, he was one of the first pioneers in epigenetics, and he taught us. So he started doing these studies. So he was he focused on biology, and also was a doctor. And so he realized that when he took stem cells and put them in different petri dishes, the stem cells became whatever the environment was that they were placed in. So if it was muscle matter, muscle tissue, the stem cell became muscle tissue. If it was heart tissue, the stem cell became heart tissue. If it was bone matter, the stem cell became bone cells. So your environment, the culture that you are in, is who you become. That's why the saying is, be careful who you spend time with, because you will become most like the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Where your attention goes, energy flows. Bring it back right here. Who do you want to be? Place yourself in the environment that allows you to be all of that and even more. So often people feel that when they're with someone who knows more than them, who brings more than them, that has more than them, that they are diminished. That is not the truth. So a rising tide will raise all ships. So you putting yourself in an environment where your growth is fostered allows you to become and bring more of you. Just be careful who you're spending that valuable time with, because you bringing you into the world and you following your heart and your destiny's calling, it's what our world truly needs right now. You opening that doorway to your divine destiny. So destiny is not your lot in life. It's not your fate unless you choose your fate. Your fate is you acknowledging that your destiny is your choice and opening that doorway to come home to your heart. Take that in for a moment. Knowing the stability and foundation of coming home to your heart. That's my mission, is helping 1,000,000 people to come home to their heart. And how beautiful is that? When you can feel that sense of understanding and compassion and love within yourself, that you are the love, the validation, the acceptance, the approval, all right here. This body, this mind, this heart, the spirit that is you. You are home when you are here. Breathe. I know that's a lot to take in, isn't it? You are so beautiful. Like, I can look into the eyes of every person And I can see the light of love within them. I can see their destiny within them, that they have a calling, that they have these amazing gifts, talents, abilities, and love within them that's just waiting for you to knock, knock, knock on the door, and it will be opened unto you. What a gift. What a gift for you. And what a gift for your world. What a gift for your family. When you acknowledge the truth of you, the love of you. I see you. I see you. You can't hide from me. You can't hide from me. Like, it is one of my greatest gifts and pleasures and honor to be able to see you. So thank you so much for being you. And thank you for not just, thank you for being you and taking this journey with me into your heart. So just a reminder, triggers that cause you to feel overwhelm and frustration, anger, heartbreak, grief, helplessness, they're only calling you back home to your heart to be in alignment with the love that is inside of you. So anytime you're triggered, bring those hands back to your heart. Ooh, and breathe. And know that you've got this. And know that you are not alone. We are all interconnected. So if you ever feel like you're alone, feel into me seeing your light and love within you. Feel into a higher power, whatever that is for you. Source, love, God, spirit. You're not alone. And you get to claim your victory. Your victory is coming home to your heart. So we get to take responsibility for how we feel, and feeling stressed and overwhelmed is your first clue that you have crossed the threshold into dysregulation. So your nervous system is under attack, you may be triggered easily, and your ego has been activated. Whew. And that ego will take you on a spiral in your brain, in your mind, that keeps you going around and around and around. And you will be stuck in a pattern unless you can witness yourself and see what is happening. And then you can use this map to be consciously aware and ask yourself, where am I operating from? And don't allow that automatic default subconscious program. So it's called the default mode network. So it's actually mapped out in the brain. This is science. I'm not feeding you something that's just airy-fairy. I'm not giving you something that's an elusive thing. This is something that has been proven in science. We have a default mode network in our brain. It's an automatic program. It's based on the neural pathways. So imagine you drive down a dirt road and it just rained and it's been muddy. And so you drive down this pathway and it creates ruts. So as you continue to drive on that road, you kind of get stuck in the rut. And the rut gets deeper and deeper and deeper because those neural pathways have been established. And it's just like that in your brain and in your body. Like we said, the head, the heart, the gut is connected. Your power is here. Your power is here in your heart. It allows you to access your gut. So as you feel into the power in your heart to know that you are connected, that's your lifeblood. And we can get into the pathways of how the blood circulates in the heart. And when it comes back into the heart, when that blood comes back in through the circulatory system, it goes back through the lungs. And the lungs actually are where grief will sit. Our grief, so if you have problems with your lungs, I want to ask you, is there some unmet grief that you are not acknowledging, that you are denying that exists, that you are not feeling your way through? Because at some point there's going to be a breakdown, and it's going to be so big because you have not denied this, and it could show up as dis-ease within your body and your system. So being healthy, being regulated is not just, it's not just about the emotions, and it's not just about the mind. If you do not put these emotions in check, it causes you to wreak havoc not only with your mental well-being, but with your health of your entire body. This is how dis-ease happens. This is how our nervous systems are under attack. This is how we end up with these autoimmune diseases, and other diseases that are an epidemic. Our world is a very unhealthy world. We're starting to clean it up. We're doing a good job. We're making efforts. What exists in here also exists out here in the world. There's wonderful efforts being made. If you take a look at ocean cleanup, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. To see the work that's being done to clean up our oceans. I'll bring this one step deeper. If you look at your body is made up of 70 to 80% water, just like our Earth. Look at our Earth, our ocean. It's a mirror. A lot of people are not looking at the whole system, the micro of the macro of the the bigger picture and the microscopic picture. So I always share with people about creating the space of grace and the space of love. Space. You look at everything. Look at this phone. This phone. This phone is made up of 99% space. How can that be? It's solid. It's solid. How can that even be? But science tells us that 99% of an atom is made up of space. Everything is made up of atoms. What you see out here is merely 1% of what actually exists. Your emotions are magnetic. They create feelings, and those feelings are creating your version of reality. So if you want your reality to change, let's take a look at what we are feeling, because it relates, and it's relatable. Because just like you, I was at the point of being at the effect of my emotions. I was a victim to circumstance. I was denying and resisting the true embodiment of me, chameleoning and conforming, to the point of 10 years ago, I looked in the mirror and I did not recognize the woman that was staring back at me. Actually, it was more like 15 years ago. So I started my journey in energy work, healing, transformation, coaching. I went through two different coaching programs. I'm still 3 years into the Life Transform coaching program as one of their advanced coaches, and I graduated from a spiritual health coaching course. I graduated from 4 different leadership development courses. Graduated. Not everybody did. I mean, these programs are intensive and they are emotionally grueling, and a lot of people drop out. But it wasn't about conforming and chameleoning for me. It was about breaking through because I had gotten to such a point of pain in my life that if another freaking year looked like the last 12 months, I was saying, there is no freaking way I even want to be alive in this body. And I can tell you from a young age, a very young age, as a heart-centered empath, I struggled with depression. At one point, I tried to take my life. At other points in my life, I had planned it, and divine intervention happened. And if this is you today, consider this your divine intervention. I want you to be lit up by your life. I want you to feel the freedom of not being at the effect of other people or your emotions. I want you to ignite deeper feelings that allow you to know that you are not alone, that you've got this. You've so got this. And I congratulate you for being a deeply feeling and depressed individual, if that is you, because that means you actually care. Thank God for you. Thank God that you care. Let's get you to make yourself a priority and care about you so that you can make a difference in your life, in your family, in your community, in your business, in your university, wherever you are. And know how much you matter, how much you are loved. Whew. You being here matters. So thank you for watching. And we're not done yet. Okay, so let's keep going here. And feel into your body right now. So what emotions are present for you? And just put your hands on your heart for a moment. Feel into your heart and what emotions are present for you right now. And now ask yourself, what is the earliest memory of you feeling like this? Feel into it in your body. Where are you feeling it in your body? What is the sensation? Is it a tightness in your gut? Is it this clump in your throat that just feels like you can't even swallow? Is it feeling heartbreak in your heart? Is it, can you not, are you feeling it in your lungs? Is there like this constriction where you can't even feel like you can breathe? Do you have this immense migraine headache? Are your sinuses full? Do your eyes burn or hurt? Is your mouth dry? Is it difficult to swallow? What are the sensations in your body? Is there tightness in your neck and your shoulders? Or are you carrying the weight of of the world on your shoulders? Oh my goodness, we need to let that go. Whew. So just feel, feel for a moment. Take the time to feel. So often we're taught to shove it down, to toss it aside. We look at ourselves or one another or objects as tired and we throw them away. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself and don't do that to anybody else. You are so valuable. You don't even know it. And that's an immense gift. You discovering how valuable you are and making yourself a priority. Feel into your body. You are worth it. I know it's hard. And I know sometimes we cut ourselves off, we numb ourselves out. So often we get caught in addictions or distraction patterns. It could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be pornography, it could be shopping, it could be work, it could be eating, it could be exercise. Those distractions, they're there because you don't feel safe. And Likely you've abandoned yourself. You've abandoned that inner child within you. So at this moment, I just want you to, I got to stop saying just. It's not just. This is everything. This is everything. Do you get that? This is everything. Ooh. Feeling into the inner child within you. Remember him or her and that light, that excitement, that passion for being alive, for playing, for being curious and in the wonderment. Before you got scared, before you felt abandoned, before you didn't feel like anybody had your back, before you felt all alone, before you felt the sadness of taking on other people's stuff, taking on the world. You've got this. You've got this. If nobody's told you today, I love you, I want you to know I love you because I fill up my well, my reservoir of this body with so much love and validation and approval and acceptance that I have that to give from my overflow. I give that to my clients. I give that to the organizations, the corporations, the universities that I work with. That overflow to be there for you, for your people, because you and your people, we are our greatest asset. In a world where technology is taking over, you knowing that your soul is something that AI cannot replicate. Robots cannot replicate your soul, your divine destiny. It's yours. And we need to wake up to it. We need to wake up now. We need to wake up now. This is sustainable leadership. Sustainable leadership is coming into this space clean and clear and aligned with the truth that is inside of you. It all starts here. You're on a journey of coming home to your heart. We're getting to the chart. Okay, I know. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me. Whew. So notice, okay. So we were feeling into your body, what emotions are present, what is the earliest memory of this feeling? So that's coming up to be cleared, to be clean and clear and aligned in the love and truth of you. So when you feel into that, there's likely a trauma pattern there. We're bringing awareness to it so it can be cleared. So we have past situational, past environmental influences, past belief patterns, right, wrong, good, bad, judgments, conclusions. So ask yourself, what else is possible? What else is possible here? Breathe. And this is also where I want to state that you making yourself a priority is you taking the time, whatever time you need, to reconnect with your heart. Some easy things for me. I am a water baby. I love water. So it can be a bath. It it can be a hot tub if I'm lucky enough, or it can be a hot springs if I'm super lucky, or really truly blessed, the ocean. Um, walking on the beach, walking in the sand, walking in the grass, walking in the rocks. Take your shoes off, get them planted on the earth. Allow the earth to nurture and nourish you. She's a reflection for us. All she knows is energy. Let's give her love by allowing her to feel the beautiful love of you running through you down to the earth, and allow her to take some of that energy from you that is not conducive. So one of the practices that I do in the bathtub, and I've been through a lot of loss in my life, and especially in these last 5 years. These last 5 years, I lost my sister died of cancer. My mom passed away 4 years ago. My dad passed away 2 years ago. And I cared for him. I was his caretaker with in-home hospice during COVID. One of the greatest gifts of my life. And he helped me because his foundation was prayer and finding that peace within himself. And he loved nature. He was also a free spirit. So that's where I get my mystical nomad nature from. Um, and yeah. So I want you to ask yourself, what lights you up? Is it a bath? And if it is, whatever's coming up for you is coming up to clear. I invite you to cry in the bathtub, like access those core emotions, the grief, the heartbreak, the helplessness, the loneliness, the outrage. What is coming up inside of yourself? And allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to scream. Scream into a pillow if there's anybody nearby. um, Allow yourself to get this emotion out, or it could be even pushing into a wall, all of that energy that you're trying to get out, or it could be stomping into the earth, stomping your feet, putting some good I love African music. Like if I'm trying to generate emotions in my body and get embodied, I like to bring African rhythm into my body and being, and I just push it down into the ground and usually have my shoes off and feel into, like, if that's outrage for me, that's what I do. Anger, wall pushes, or music and dancing and just feeling the power, the rhythm. um, but if it's sadness, a lot of times, for me, and a lot of you, if you've followed my journey these last 5 years, you know it's not been easy, and you've seen me in my breakdowns. You know and sometimes I was in that victim stage of, shit, is this just one more thing? Like, can I really take on one more thing? And if it's coming to you, believe me, you've got the power to get you through it. And if you need support, please reach out to me. I will be there for you. So, what is it that allows you to generate joy within you? Okay, one more piece on the bath, because it's part of my ritual when I'm going through sadness, grief, heartbreak, to use my time in the bath to let it go, to release it, to surrender to it, and know that sometimes it's the letting go of the control, because really your power is in knowing that you have no control over nothing else except for how you feel. That's what you have control over. And what you're choosing. So that's it. And sometimes it's hard to feel like you have control over how you're feeling when you're at the victim of circumstance. So you get to be in that state of reclaiming your power, to know that you are choosing to be the victor of your life. So, but if you're stuck in that victim state and you are feeling depressed, you're feeling anxious, no, you're not alone. You are not alone. Surrender. Surrender into that knowing and feel it. Let it come up and through. And as you allow it to come up and through, if you're in the bathtub, just imagine, imagine that water all of that sadness is pouring into the water. Imagine that there's like a continuous reservoir that's coming from above you, like a waterfall of light and energy and love that's flowing into you to allow it to cleanse into you and through you. And allow yourself to release some of the stuck resistance and energy and sadness and bring it through so that you can come from a state of being in alignment with your heart. You're no longer resisting whatever's coming up that was creating those feelings in your body, that lump in your throat, the dryness in your mouth, the inability to swallow, the migraine headache, the tension in your eyes, um, the tightness in your chest, the stuck feeling in your gut that feels like there's a knot inside of there, whatever the feeling is. Allow yourself to feel into any of the other feelings, the emotions that you're resisting, and allow those to come up and through. And as you allow them to come up and through, just imagine them being released into the tub so that when you pull, or you can do this in the shower, if you're taking a morning shower, evening shower, anytime shower, know that you are allowing whatever the stuck residual feelings, emotions, tensions, stress, allow it to be released into the water and allow it to go down the drain. And then know that the earth is there to support us. And imagine the earth being allowed con- to change it, allow it to be transformed, transformed into greater light, greater love, greater joy, greater beauty. It's the earth, greater beauty that allows people to appreciate, allows you to appreciate the beauty in the world a little bit more. And then what is it that generates joy in your life? So once you've done that release work, fill up your cup. What is it that will fill up the reservoir of you with greater joy? And do that. Take an inspired action and ask yourself, what would make me feel better right now? Maybe it's taking a drink of water. Maybe it's eating an apple, or maybe it's dancing, putting on some music and just listening to the flow of the notes running over and through your body. Maybe it's flowing with that music. And maybe it's jumping on a trampoline like you did when you were a little girl and you have like a little rebounder and you like to jump on it. Or maybe it's walking through the park. Maybe it's petting your dog or your cat. Maybe it's bird watching and watching the birds. Maybe it's calling a friend and truly connecting from heart to heart, not just surface level stuff, but truly connecting. Okay. So, trust yourself. Be in the space of love and grace with yourself. And let's bring up this chart. So here is the chart. Here is the chart. The beautiful chart that was created with so much love to help you feel empowered in your emotional awareness. Here we go. So we're going to take you through this. Notice the up arrow and the down arrow. The up arrow is your power, your choice, and your intention. That left side of the chart, that's where all your power is, and you're going to spiral up. So as you spiral up, you access the greater space of your divinity consciousness. So accessing your destiny, the divinity that is within you, that light, that love. You're enlightened in your state of being because you're conscious, you're consciously choosing, and you're accessing your mental resilience and strength, no matter what's going on in the world. So we are here to build resilience in a chaotic world. And this can be our chaotic world sometimes. So it all starts right here. So we start this point from a neutral point of view. You're responding consciously to what's happening, what's occurring in your field, and you're focused on solutions when you're in your power, your choice, and your intentions. So you're looking at what's happening, and you're focused on, oh, I wonder what's possible here. I wonder what solutions are available. And we are coming from a regulated nervous system. And this is where you get to be the victor of your life. This is where you're thriving. Okay. So this is where we want to be. This is where we want to be. Okay. So this is where the resilience is. This is where the strength is. So now over on the other side, we have force. We have, this is where the old paradigm of leadership is. There's a lot of control. There's a lot of manipulation. This is the default mode. This is the unconscious mode. So when we are physically in this state, we are reactive. We are in the shadow state. So it's what we're not seeing. It's what we're not looking at that's there. And it will come up and it will infiltrate your life if you are not operating from a regulated nervous system, if you're not in the power of your choice. Triggers, like we said, those triggers are only there to help call you back home to your heart. This is an automatic program. Okay, so when you're in that default mode, you're in an automatic program, and this is where the ego is activated. This is where the subconscious patterns are stimulated. So this is where there's a downward spiral. So the subconscious self-destructive patterns, pain, you feel physical pain, you feel mental pain, you feel emotional pain. You are focused on problems. You are oriented towards what is wrong. And it's usually induced by trauma. There's a dysregulation in the nervous system, and you're operating from a victim consciousness. You are operating from survival mode. So let's take a quick look on this side of the chart where we're in that default mode. And you see it starts with overwhelm. We feel overwhelmed and we get frustrated. We get frustrated and we get pessimistic about life. We see the wrongness in things. We see the wrongness in people. We see the wrongness in the world. Whew. Then we grow into that downward spiral, and there's worry, there's doubt, there's disappointment. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you relate? Can you relate? Are you picking up what I'm laying down here? Okay. Then in that worry, we start to get greedy. We start to be in the desire of wanting things to be different than they are. We start to try to manipulate our emotions and manipulate others around us, trying to gain control over the situation that we have no control over. So we spiral down. If that doesn't work, we get angry. And we want to have control. We want to impose our control upon another. And then we get into the insecurity. We get into the unworthiness, not feeling worthy. And then we start to have fear. Those patterns are so strong. What are you afraid of? And we're resisting looking. We're resisting seeing what we're afraid of. And then we fall into grief and depression. And then we fall into hopeless despair. And then we fall into guilt and blame. And then at the bottom of the chart is shame. We are just ashamed of who we are. We're ashamed of who we've become. We're ashamed of people in our life. We're ashamed of the world that we live in. And from that shame, that's where destruction happens. So if you're in shame, let's get you up to hopeless despair. No, I don't mean to laugh, but Truly, we have to have a lightness of heart and a playfulness of spirit to help us get through these hard times, because life is rough sometimes. And especially if you're being met with heartbreak and grief because someone passed away that you love dearly. And sometimes we feel like if I show how sad I am, it shows how much I loved that person. And that is not the case. I want you to know that. And if you're feeling that, know that you're not alone. I've felt that way. But I also have grown a very deep connection with my angelic cheerleaders who are like behind me. They've got my back. They're pushing me forward. They're saying, the show must go on. And here I am, because I'm here to share a message with you that's important, that can change your life if you allow it to. And so if you're in hopeless despair, rise, rise to grief and depression. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel like you're rising to anything when you're depressed, but you are. Trust yourself. Trust that you've got this. And it can be for 5 minutes. Allow yourself to be sitting with that grief and despair and depression. And then ask yourself, what am I afraid of? And if you can get yourself there, you can ask, what am I resisting? What am I resisting by staying stuck here? Because if you're stuck there, it's your comfort zone. And your comfort zone is where your dreams will go to die. So let's use our imagination and start to envision something greater for ourselves. And, we'll talk. So that is where we're on the other side of the chart. You can quantum leap yourself to the other side of the chart by getting yourself stimulated in imagination and dreaming and visualization of something greater. Don't envision the worst, envision what else could be possible here. And it will allow you to see there are perspectives and points of view that you have not been open to seeing. And you can notice the resistance. Where are you resisting yourself or your life? And then we go to unworthiness. So if you haven't quantum leaped over to the other side yet, we're just going to continue up this spiral. Just if you're really stuck in your stuff, I just want to give you the time and the space to know that you're being witnessed and I'm here with you. And I don't mean to laugh and make light of where you are, because trust me, I've been there. I've been in my grief. I've been in my isolation of being a lone wolf. I've been in the desperation of being homeless. And I know those are not fun places. You can choose to quantum leap to the other side of the chart to access your power at any moment. But if you're not ready yet, it's okay. It's okay. Because I know that this life can be devastating at times. And sometimes we're hit with something so enormous that it seems impossible to get out of. And so I want to give you this insight that you've got this. You're not alone, and I'm here with you. Okay. So if we go from that resistance, spiral up and ask yourself, why am I feeling so insecure or unworthy? Why do I feel unworthy of the love that I could be choosing, of the life I could be choosing, of the home I could be choosing? Why do I feel unworthy of that? Why do I feel insecure? Like the rug is going to get pulled out from under me one more time. Why do I feel unsafe? Why do I feel like I need to walk on eggshells? Why do I feel like I need to be responsible for how somebody else feels? A reminder, it's not your responsibility. Okay. Okay, then we spiral up where we think we have control. We think that we might have control, but it's actually realizing that we are helpless. Like there's a core emotion. This is Dr. Margaret Paul's work on inner bonding. that we have no control over what anybody else says or does, but we do have control over our own emotions. And those core emotions are being helpless, being heartbroken, being in grief, being in loneliness, or being in outrage. And so at this point, you ask yourself, what do I have control over? Is allowing myself to feel those core feelings of why I feel this way. And then allow yourself to get angry. It's a higher so you don't realize it, but as we spiral up this pathway, this empowered emotional awareness chart, it is actually allowing you to access a higher level of vibration. Okay? So the arrows are pointing down. That's when you're in the destructive mode. You go down, 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 down. I want to sing a Johnny Cash song right now. Okay. But we're actually going up. We're going up so that we can actually access the other side. We're going to the other side together. We're rising together. A rising tide raises all ships. So allow yourself to get angry. Who made you conform and chameleon? Was it a personal choice or was it your subconscious? Did you do that to create safety in your environment? Did somebody make you feel unsafe? Were you raped? Were you asked to leave a place that felt like home for you? Did you go through divorce? And did it feel like you got the short end of the stick? That you felt that you were not worthy to receive everything that you should have received? Did someone violently attack you? Did someone take someone from you that you loved? Did they take them away from your relationship? Or did they physically take their life? I've got you. You're not alone. I've got you. Allow yourself to feel it. And we'll spiral back up, continuing up. What do I desire? What am I manipulating? Am I being greedy? I want someone, I want something. Ask yourself these questions. What am I worried about? What am I doubting? What am I disappointed by? What am I seeing as right or wrong, good or bad? Where am I imposing my point of view as the only point of view? Where am I seeing the world as awful? Where am I seeing the chaos and the destruction as something that is such a spiral in our world that we can't overcome it? That chaos is creating change. People are getting hurt, people are getting killed. It's heartbreaking. It brings up grief. It brings up helplessness. It brings up loneliness if you've lost somebody or if you feel alone. It brings up outrage. Let it come up. Let the chaos be a catalyst. It's a catalyst for change. It's a catalyst for change here because this is the only place we can really change. It has to happen here and then it can ripple out into our world. What a gift. What an amazing gift. So it is devastating. It is awful. And what inspiration, what enlightenment, what peace, what joy, what gratitude, and what freedom can come from moving through the problem and into a solution. Okay. So if you're caught in that right, wrong, good, bad, let's move it up to frustration. What are you frustrated about? Are you frustrated because people cannot see eye to eye? They can't come together and realize that we're all connected. They can't come together and realize that we're all in this together. It could be you and a partner. It could be you and your family. It could be you and an organization. It could be you and your career. It could be a million scenarios. Frustration. Okay. So if you come out of the frustration and you just allow yourself to feel a little bit overwhelmed, oh, I'm doing this master class. I'm a little bit overwhelmed. I haven't done one in a while. And I'm so excited to be here. It's a little overwhelming, but I'm choosing it. I'm consciously choosing it. I'm on the other side of the chart. Woo. So what are you overwhelmed by? What are you overwhelmed by? Are you overwhelmed by having to put on those masks for people? Is it getting so exhausting and tiring to continue to chameleon and perform and be someone for someone else? You're in resistance if you're still wearing a mask. And the truth of you is beautiful. Who you are and who you be in this world is bringing your light, your love, the magic of you that is imaginative, creative, can visualize greater possibilities, who is solutions oriented, who is sustainable, who is resilient, who is strong in the face of whatever life is bringing at you. Okay? Are you with me? All right, we're on the other side of the chart. We're on the other side of the chart. So we are being courageous. We're being honest. We're being courageous enough to tell the truth to other people in our life of what works and what doesn't work for you. I know for myself, I was in codependent relationships for a long time. You know, I was seeking love, validation, approval, and acceptance outside of myself. So I always put on that mask. And until I didn't. And how that looks, you know, for me is that when there's alcohol, you know, there'd be a nightly nightcap and it would be time for a drink or time for a smoke until I said, you know what? I actually prefer not to, not tonight, which was one way that I allowed my truth to shine forward. Sometimes it's just one simple choice, one simple declaration, and it doesn't make anybody else wrong or bad. It's just saying, this is my choice. This is who I'm being. And you can actually choose who you want to be. Nobody else is telling you to put on a mask. You get to choose in every moment. It's where your power is. So you get to set the intention of who you want to be. So we're going to spiral up. We're courageous. We're honest. And now we're at this neutral point of view. There is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. Everything that's occurring is happening exactly as it's meant to because it's how it's happening. So we get to accept it. We get to unattach ourselves from what's happening out here because this internal environment is where your sustainability is. This is where you get to move forward with the greatest amount of power to create ripples into the world that are bringing strength, resilience, courage, regulation. So we move forward. So we already went up. We went up to from neutral, releasing our attachment into the acceptance, being okay, being content. That is your choice. And then we move up into optimism and hopefulness. Well, I wonder what these situations will actually create. Maybe this is the time where we actually see that we are coming together, that we are not in this alone, that we are in a collective consciousness that can choose something different. So we get to be optimistic and hopeful that we can actually create a new reality, a new positive reference point to how we are operating in the world. And then, yes, we get to discover passion and enthusiasm for life. Oh my gosh, what would you choose if you were passionate and enthusiastic today? Would you go for a walk and connect with nature? Would you go turn on some music and start dancing and just feeling vibrantly alive? That is your choice. And then you feel empowered and you feel the freedom to be yourself, the freedom to know that you matter, that you are lovable, you're being the source of that love. Looking into your eyes, into a mirror, and say, I love you. I love you. And connect. So they say the eyes are the windows of the soul. Connect deeply with your eyes and pierce the veil that says, I love you. So you can feel it. Feel it inside of your body. Feeling grateful. Grateful for your life. Gratitude for your family. Gratitude for your partner. Gratitude for your job. Gratitude for your fellow amazing people of this amazing earth, humanity that's walking alongside you. Gratitude for the homeless person you see on the street, and offer them an apple or offer them a smile. A smile that says, I see you and you're going to get through this. And love. Moving up from gratitude, moving into love. How do you get to be that space of love for yourself? Doing that mirror work will be magical for you. But we also get to be that love for every other person that we come across. This can be a challenge at some at times, because sometimes people are a little bit harsh. Sometimes they're a little hard to love. Love them more. Pain, hurt people. And pain is a very interesting state of being. And healed people heal people. I invite you to love them more. Love them more. And then be joyful. Be joyful, because if your cup is overflowing with love, oh man, it feels good to smile. It feels good to know that you can choose to be joyful. You can be inspired to ask, what will generate joy for me today? And go do it. It could be quietly reading a book on the sofa. It could be sitting out at the park and watching the birds, or taking a dog for a walk, or going to the dog park if you don't have a dog, to meet dog people because you love dogs. Because not all of us can have dogs, you know? Some of our life situations don't allow that. Or go adopt a dog if you need a little extra love and you feel like a, a lone wolf. Allow yourself the experience of being loved unconditionally. So, what's going to bring you joy? Choose it. Choose whatever that is. And then know peace. Know the peace in your heart. Know that now is new. Now is new. Now is new. From one of my dear friends, Teresa. She always says, now is new. And I love that. I love that saying. Now is new. Because it is. It's the present moment. When we are present in this moment right now, nothing else matters. It's still going to be there. But if you come from the reference point of peace, it's going to look different. You're going to have a little different shine of perspective. And so that is my invitation for you. And as you grow and you move up the scale, you have the wisdom. You have the wisdom to change your life. You do today. You can change your life today by choosing your power, your choice, your intention. And that is this empowered emotional awareness chart. So I will offer you the link here for this chart so that you can access it, so you can use it at any time that you need. Now you know how to use it, and it isn't as confusing as your mind wants you to make it out to be. So, and that brings us to the conclusion. This is the end of this beautiful time together. I am so honored that you took the time to learn more about yourself, about your emotions, allowing you to build the resiliency in a chaotic world, to allow you to know that your environment is right here, that you have the capacity to change. This is where resilience and strength is born. Coming together, that divine feminine, divine masculine, because we all were born from that divine feminine, divine masculine. We weren't meant to be separate from, we weren't meant to isolate, we weren't meant to feel alone in this world. Because the truth is, we are interconnected. You are never alone. And you've got this. So, if I can support you at any point in building your resilience and strength, I do have some open times on my calendar. I invite you to book a call. I would love to know how I can be a contribution to you. And I would feel so blessed and honored to be able to do so. I'm Jacqueline with Vibrational Energy Solutions, the creator of the Doorway to Your Divine Destiny, and bringing sustainable leadership to corporations, to universities, colleges, and into our world. Let me know how I can be a contribution to you today. Bye for now. See you soon. And thank you. Thank you for being awesomely you. Thank you for listening to the end. Like, you should get a special gift for listening to the end. Like, if you are this interested in what I am sharing, I do have a video series that I will gift you for free. Besides this free chart, it's 5 videos that help you to feel more empowered, that help you to realize the difference between being in reaction and responding, being able to respond, responsibility, and other key areas of life that might be supportive. So if you listen to this point, go ahead and put in the comments below, I listened to the end, and put you, and somehow we'll have to connect, and I'll need to get your email address so that I can send you the link for the special gift that is offering you greater wisdom, if you're still interested beyond this point, that I would love to share with you. And I hope to talk to you soon, because you're awesome and you matter and you are so lovable. I look forward to seeing you soon. Okay, bye for now.